Hey, we're getting ready to go live. We're just going to do some sound checks behind the scenes here. Up first, Jerry Manis. Let's see. Let's do a little sound check with you, Jerry.
How you doing?
Awesome. You sound great. You look great. All right. Let's do next. Mike Clayton.
Well, I didn't hear you or Jerry, but maybe that's a feature, not a bug.
Can you hear me now?
Still can't hear you, but give me a thumbs up if you can hear me.
I think you sound awesome. Yeah, great. Okay, great. All right, thanks, Mike. Maybe you can fix the audio on your side, but I can hear you just fine. All right, let's see Bruno next. Bruno, what's up, Bruno?
Hello.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you very well.
Great, I see you. I hear you. You look awesome. All right, great. Let's do Ruth next. Ruth!
Hey, can you hear me?
I can.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Yay, I can hear you too.
You're a little fuzzy. Do you have a mic, a different mic on there?
I don't. No,
don't?
I can do it with the mic from the Mac if you want.
Let's try it. Yeah, let's check on Mike again. On Mike while you fix your mic.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Mike, can you hear me now? I put you back up. Mike, can you hear me now? Doing sound checks backstage.
I'm still not hearing you, but maybe that doesn't matter. Okay,
you want to leave and get back in? Let's see. So 4 to 5 isn't bad. All right, let's can somebody put in the green room chat for Mike to maybe leave and come back in, see if that'll help. The old unplug it, plug it back in type of situation. All right, cool.
Okay, right.
We're going to be going live shortly. Hang on tight, everybody. I'm going to have a 30-second countdown and then we'll get going.
Still not hearing.
30 seconds. Hey, let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me, if you're here. And if you're here, let us know, where in the world are you? Where in the world are you today? Where are you dialing in from? Let us know. Get those fingers ready to light up the comments today for us. Thank you so much. And we are using StreamYard today. I'm a little new to StreamYard. It's been a while since I've used it. We used it before. A lot of our authors and people that like to go live have used it and love it. So let us know what you think about that and what would make your experience great. So let's light up the comments and see where you are today while we set up here. And welcome to the 20th of January already. I feel like we just had New Year's. All right, let's see. And I'm checking on one guest who may be in the green room. Let's see. Okay. Lee, come on into the green room. Join us on StreamYard so we can get you up on the screen. I see you're here. Okay, this is exciting. Boy, we have a lot of folks here from a lot of places. Yay. Let's see. Wow, look at all of this. We have Dave here who wrote our final chapter in the book. Thanks for joining, Dave. Awesome. Very cool. All the way from Texas. Hi, John. Howdy. Howdy there. We got Michigan in the house. John, thanks for joining. Frequent flyer here in Projectland. From Romania, Bucharest. All right. Hey there. Nice to see you. Thanks, everybody. Minneapolis in the house. Hey, Vera. Thanks for joining. Awesome. And Lee Lambert. He's in Ohio today. He's traveling all over the world all the time around Projectland. So for those of you who are here because you're authors, Rosalind and Mike and Dave and many of you, thank you so much for joining. For those of you who are fans of Projectland or who just needed maybe a little good vibes today, welcome to Projectland. So Projectland is the concept that I created some time ago now, many years ago, really, to describe how the world of projects is very different than the world of operations or business as usual. And so we like to refer to Projectland because it is a wild world with different roles and rules than the day job. Yes, Jason. And sometimes there are snakes. Yes, yes. In Projectland. And if you don't know who your snakes are, you better find out, because otherwise they'll jump up and bite you when you least expect it and maybe sabotage your project. So, wow, we have Turkey in the house and Brazil. Wonderful. Hey, guys. Great to see you here. Thank you. Thank you. All right. And Lee's already getting shout outs. Lee, please join the green room. Let's see. Is he here? Okay. All right. Well, Jana, if you could send Lee a private message and make sure he knows where to be, that would be great. All right. So here we are today. Before we begin really truly with our show today, I just want to thank you all for being here. And I have a very special person to introduce while I learn StreamYard a little bit better on the fly. Pardon me. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay. Snakes and Trojan horses. Yes, indeed. Okay, so here we go. Drum roll, please. Drum roll, please. Before we go any further, I want to introduce somebody very, very special. He's my co-editor, my creative partner, and very much the man behind the scenes of this book. He's an internationally best-selling author, speaker, and consultant whose work has been cited by some of the most respected voices in business. Tom Peters referenced his work for its focus on simplicity and character. Pat Williams of the Orlando Magic called his work a new path for leaders, and his writing has been featured in publications around the world. He also brings the force to Projectland as the author of Chapter 6, I Have a Bad Feeling About This, Risk Management Insights from the Galactic Empire, inspired by Star Wars. But beyond the accolades and the books, Jerry brings heart, humanity, and deep thoughtfulness to everything he does. This book, Projectland Goes to the Movies, 22 Blockbuster Strategies for Project Success, would not be possible without this man. And when he's not shaping ideas and stories, you'll find him in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, writing both nonfiction and fiction with Max the dog at his feet. He just put out a fiction book called Dragon Island. I had the opportunity to be on the inside of that. It was very exciting, and it's getting amazing reviews as well. So if you need a little fiction book, check out Dragon Island, and he goes by J.B. Manis on his fiction work. It's my absolute honor to welcome my co-editor, my collaborator, my accountability buddy, and my friend. Welcome to the Projectland stage once again, Jerry Manis. There he is.
Hi, Dawn. Thank you. That was some introduction.
Well, it's worth it. You have been a force behind our first book, Meet the Players in Projectland, which we were able to make #1 bestseller. We will see if we can do that again here, an Amazon hot new release. And Jerry, so I want to share with folks a little bit about the origin and story of this book. We're going to have some guests today, some of the insiders, the authors that are a force behind making this book happen. who have a lot of followers and a lot of people who might be very interested in what they've been up to with us. And we're going to have a little trivia. Also, we're going to share our IMDb list we put together thanks to Mike Schaefer's recommendation. It's very cool. So if you need a movie list, we have one for you. And yeah, so hopefully we'll have a little fun and celebrate our success of getting this book out into the world finally. Today is launch day. How you feeling about that, Jerry?
Great. The day we've been waiting for, that's for sure.
Yeah, we sure have. It's been a labor of love project. And I just thought maybe we could have a little chat and share with folks about the origin of this particular book. So after we did Meet the Players in Projectland, we made a list of over 50 books and that we could write together. We could write separately based on all the content we have, all kinds of things. And we had to choose which one to do next. So in the world of projects, there's a lot of prioritization that goes on. And so, tell me what you recall about the conversation, because it's been a while.
Well, we were in the brainstorming stage, and we said, let's just list every idea, no matter how lousy or, some were good, some were maybe not as good, but we figured let's just throw everything out. So we made a list of something like 50 books, and I'd probably be 120 by the time we finished them. And plus we wanted to publish other people's books too. But we were going down the list, and then somewhere we were talking about a project lesson from a movie or something like that. And one of us said, hey, what about a project management book based on the movies? And so I remember mentioning the idea of Projectland Goes to the movies, because you had coined the term Projectland. And at first we were talking about maybe it's something we could do together and talking about the different movies. And then you had mentioned, hey, why don't we make it a cohort with, or a collaboration with a bunch of authors? And we both loved that idea. So here we are.
Yeah. And in fact, the way I remember it too is we were looking at this list a little overwhelmed, and as lists go, to choose from. And I remember us both sort of pointing at it and saying, you know what, this one would be the most fun.
Yeah, that's right. We were looking at books to do. What would be the most fun? What would be interesting? This just ticked all the boxes, and we said this has to be our next one. Even though we had other things we wanted to do, right away, this one just leaped to the top as soon as we thought about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when we were able to bring people in, I remember talking to a couple of people like Mike Clayton, like Laura Bernard, and saying, hey, what do you guys think of this idea? It might be a little crazy. And they were like, let's do it. Like, why? Let's do it. Sounds fun. And so it was born. And over a year ago now, we had our casting call for authors. And we blasted it all over social media. I think I sent an email, and we started to talk to people we knew in the industry that we felt might be interested in doing this. And some people decided, like, hey, we want to do it. We're going to hear from one of those people today that we reached out to about, and I'd love to hear from everybody else too. Why did you take the call? Why did you decide to go on this journey with us? And Jerry, you had a couple of movies you were thinking about, but you settled on Star Wars. Tell us a little bit more about your chapter.
Yeah, I was thinking about different movies. I was thinking about Jaws for a while. And of course, a lot of the lessons would have been about team building. And we had a number of other chapters that are already talking about that and doing it very well. So I happen to, it's funny, never tell me the odds from Star Wars, where C-3PO says, sir, the odds of navigating an asteroid field are approximately 3,720 to 1. And Han Solo says, never tell me the odds. And that was sort of like a mantra for me for a long time. And I didn't put in the book, maybe I should have, but I remember in 1999, I had a tumor that for 2 weeks I was told was cancerous. And I was meeting with oncologists and everything. And then 2 weeks later, I found out that it wasn't, that it was benign. They made a mistake. But at any rate, during that time, I remember it sort of became a mantra, the never tell me the odds, and for many different purposes. I just found this actually, I even bought years ago, and I found it in a box, a bookmark, rather a coaster. It says, never tell me the odds.
Wow.
And it just so happened that it came with another coaster, And I thought, oh, this is great. Never tell me the odds. That's like my mantra, and I'll have that. It happened to come with another coaster that said, I have a bad feeling about this. So I'm thinking, what the hell is it? So it dawned on me that these would be great lessons for risk management and around finding that balance between never tell me the odds and I have a bad feeling about this, the overly optimistic and overly pessimistic view. So it just seemed perfect. So I decided to focus on that.
Yeah. And when we were designing the book too, we really wanted a balance of not only movies, different kinds of movies. We didn't want all the same kind of movie, but we also wanted a balance of lessons. So we had this whole design, all this list. It was a fairly loose list, but a list nonetheless of different topics, lessons we'd love to have covered. And I feel like we did an amazing job. In some ways, it was just very fortunate that a lot of the authors had different ideas about their movie that they wanted to choose, the lesson they wanted to choose. So I'm super pumped about how it was able to round out. And in the trivia later, we're really going to see some of that.
Yeah, it was great to be part of.
Awesome. Well, Jerry, shall we have our next guest come up?
We shall.
All right, great. Well, Lee, we are, when you're able to join us in the StreamYard, we will bring you up onto the stage. So for now, we're going to move on to our next guest, who is, I'm going to introduce in a way that maybe you can guess who it is. So some of you that know these folks. Okay, so here we go. Help me introduce this next guest, Jerry. We have a powerhouse of leadership, insight, and heart, an international speaker, coach, and trainer with 25 years as a project leader, a trusted voice in leadership, workplace mental health, and character strengths. She's the author of multiple books, including Be a Project Motivator, described as the first of its kind, and Be Hopeful, Be Strong, Be Brave, Be Curious, helping people truly understand how coaching works. She's also created 5 LinkedIn learning courses for project managers and inspires leaders around the world to listen with intention and speak with purpose. Now, here's a little secret. She's got a JD, which means she's a lawyer with a master's degree in economic theory from the London School of Economics. So that calm confidence and sharp thinking, totally earned. And when she's not changing how leaders show up, she's living with a bunch of animals, which, I love animals, right? And we have this going on today on purpose. She has also, not only does she have, the normal sort of set of animals, she has a bunny named Bunny Penny. Bunny Penny, of course, clearly the star. And she keeps bees, and she's dreaming what animal to bring into the menagerie next. So please help me, Jerry, in welcoming and everybody here online, one of our brilliant Projectland authors. Come on up to the stage, Ruth Pearce.
Hi, Ruth.
Hey, good to see you both.
You should have done a James Bond movie with Bunny Penny.
I did think about it, but there is only one movie. There's only one movie, and that is V for Vendetta. There was no, I toyed for a nanosecond with Apollo 13 because I do really love that movie, but someone else had nabbed that, and that was good because this project gave me a reason to talk about V for Vendetta in terms of project managers, and I had been waiting since 2001 for that opportunity.
What? 2001? Tell us more. Tell us more.
I think 2001 is when it came out. I may be getting it wrong. It might be later than that, but basically, from the first time I saw that movie, I was it's the only movie I've watched more than 10 times. If my husband was here, he'd probably say it's more like 50. I just absolutely loved the movie from the first time I saw it. And as soon as you said, if we did a book about what movies tell us about project management, I didn't even read the rest of the message. It was just like, yes, I think I know what's coming. And yes, I'll do that. I have my movie. I know what I'm going to talk about. Let's go.
Awesome. Awesome. So your chapter was called Remember the 5th of November, of course. So tell us a little bit more about, so in your introduction, and by the way, everybody, when we designed the book, we designed the experience for the reader to be consistent across chapters. So you can imagine the project challenge of having a different author for every chapter and make it feel like a cohesive book, right? So in the beginning of your chapter, Ruth, you talk about your origin story with this movie before it was even out, when you were a kid. Tell us about that.
So I'm originally from the UK, and I love movies that are about good overcoming evil. And this movie is set in the UK. I'm not going to make the comments that are coming to my mind right now about timeliness and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, it always meant a lot to me, because it's that idea of someone having a really clear purpose and pursuing it relentless. But relentlessly is not the right word, because there's a softness about him. But this isn't a project that he put together on Monday and delivered a week later. This is a project that took him 20 years to implement. And for me, that feels a little bit like a life journey too. It's taken me all the time it has to get here, and the whole thing has been a project along the way. And of course, there's my favorite scene where he has all the black and red dominoes, and he's put them out in a shape that shows V, because he's V for Vendetta. It's V for Vendetta. And it's beautifully laid out. And right at the right moment, he just tips the first domino and everything falls into place. And I was like, that's a dream project. You know, if it were me, I would knock the dominoes over halfway through and then set them up again. Of course, we don't know, that didn't happen to him. But it's just that idea of projects moving forward one piece at a time, you know, and he had this long-term plan to accomplish what he does in the movie. And I've always worked on long-term complex projects. So that perception of you don't get anywhere fast and every little piece counts, but no single piece is the deciding factor. To me, that's a huge piece of what complex project management is about. Yeah,
absolutely. That was wild for me too. And in fact, before you introduced me to this movie, despite being a big fan of Natalie Portman, I had never seen it. And so, you know, in preparation to edit your chapter, I had to see the movie. So all year I was watching all these fabulous films from all of our authors, including that one. And wow, it was wild. She gets her head shaved. Like it's quite the production.
Well, and of course we all have to sit down and have a cup of tea as well. I love the scene where V shows up on the big screen and he says, I thought we could all sit down and have a cup of tea and just talk about what's wrong with this country.
None of that is happening anywhere in America right now. Yeah.
Or the UK. Mm-hmm.
Or the UK, right? Or anywhere else in the world where there are politicos. But nonetheless, so let us know if you have seen V for Vendetta, love it, hate it, what you think about that. A 20-year project. He really, I mean, definitely some strategic work there, which is part of the reason why your chapter shows up in the beginning of the book in Act 1. So because that's all about setting the stage for projects, the planning, the really, the thinking it through, making sure we're working on the right things, all that fun stuff. So Ruth, any final words of wisdom for everybody in Projectland here?
I think I'll come back to what I just said, which is every project, small or large, is made up of those little dominoes. And there isn't a single one of those dominoes that controls the whole project, even if you knock it over. But every one of those dominoes counts. And I've seen it in this project, as you've been doing this project, the meticulous, let's get the first edit, let's edit the edit, let's make sure it all aligns. As you said, that it's a coherent and consistent book. It isn't just a collection of individual chapters that don't relate to each other.
Yeah.
And I think this is the perfect example of putting all the dominoes in place. And today you get to flip that first one and everything just comes together.
Yeah, let's hope we flick it right up to the blockbuster #1 in the, in project management on Amazon kind of list. But that'll be up to everybody here and elsewhere too.
And I do just want to acknowledge Rachel says one of her favorite breakfast meals is eggs inside a cutout piece of toast, which is eggy in a basket. Got to get the terminology right. So Rachel really likes eggy in a basket, and that shows up a couple of times in the movie. So yeah,
nice.
With real butter.
Well,
Ruth,
yeah, absolutely.
I remember I loved the movie when it came out, but I appreciated it so much more after reading your chapter, because I knew I had to rewatch it. It had been years.
Well, thank you, Jerry, and thank you for helping me sort of clarify what I wanted to bring out about the chapter, because there's so much about that movie, and if I'm watching the movie, I say all the words along with it, so it can be quite hard to filter it down and come up with something that's a chapter and not like 9 books. So thank you for your help with that.
And before we let you go, I have to mention, so this is dedication, everybody. So Ruth said yes. So I was mentioning sort of the progress of the book project, right? We had our author casting call. We got authors together in December of the previous year, so over a year ago, December. And then Ruth, on her birthday in December, wrote her chapter. Ruth, why would you do that to yourself?
Well, what better way to spend my birthday than writing and thinking about V for Vendetta? On my birthday, so it's the 28th of December. If anyone wants to send me a late gift, that's absolutely fine. But yes, the 28th of December. And so it's always a little bit of a mixed blessing because it gets sort of put together with Christmas and all of that kind of stuff. So I've always made it my habit to do something community oriented on my birthday.
Nice.
And as I said, it's my birthday. I want to do something that's going to go out into the world. And it gets me thinking and watching, because I rewatched it that day to make sure that I hadn't forgotten anything. V for Vendetta, the perfect birthday. And I want to say I did get even more dedication. I had a jacket specially made for the launch because so this is made of recycled wool material.
Wow.
And a friend of mine makes clothes out of recycled materials. And I was like, what better time than to show off the jacket in Project Launch?
I love it. I love it. Well, awesome. You look beautiful as always, Ruth, and especially radiant with the new jacket. Before we let you go, our next guest has been following your work, is a fellow author who's been in the same rooms as you, including our author Zoom room, but has never had a one-on-one chat with you.
Ooh, we have to fix that.
We're going to totally fix that and get you to properly meet him in moments. But let me introduce him a little bit with hopefully a little bit of flair so you guys can see if you recognize this person. He is an outcome-driven leader who solves problems and delivers results with over 20 years of experience leading PMOs in large multinational organizations. Until the end of 2024, he served as the global head of PMO for a Fortune 500 company. And now through his own company, he's focused on a powerful purpose, making the world a better place by empowering people and delivering impact. He's been a consultant, coach, mentor, and speaker, like both of you and me too. He captivates audiences with dynamic keynotes filled with stories that motivate and drive action. He was born and raised in Milano, Italy, lives in Berlin, Germany, and is deeply in love with his wife's hometown, Krakow, Poland, as well as his wife. Please help me welcome one of our Projectland authors. Come up onto the stage, Bruno.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dawn.
So Ruth, Bruno, Ruth. Happy to
Hi, Bruno.
Make it happen.
Hello, Ruth. You see, it's not a one-on-one.
No, we need a one-on-one conversation without anyone else there.
We need
Yeah.
to. But I have really appreciated your work during all those years. So it's a pleasure to be a co-author of.
Bruno, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Likewise. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you, Ruth. And hopefully you can stay on in the chat and offer all your love to our other guests. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Bye. and adding Jerry back in, Bruno, and that way you're in the middle now. See,
I'm in the middle now.
You're in
it's a
the middle.
dangerous place to be.
So Bruno, you wrote a chapter about another movie I had never seen before. I had never heard about it. But before we get into your chapter, I just want to share something with that I think is really fun. Personally, hold on tight. Drum roll, please. Da-na-na, da-na-na. Here we go. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. Wait for it.
Maybe.
Oh, come on. Here we go. It's coming. It's coming. I swear. There it is.
Oh.
There it is. So we met for the first time. We had to both travel the whole way to Saudi Arabia to the GPMF, the Global Project Management Forum, where we were both speakers. And my book wasn't even truly out yet. There's this little, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's this little gray bar across it, which means it was an author copy. It wasn't even a real copy yet, but I had it with me. I had just gotten it right before I traveled out. And you were so kind to take this picture with me, and you were making me laugh. So we didn't get a lot of time together, but I heard wonderful things about your sessions, and I wanted to meet you. So I just thought the blast from the past, the like day we met, right there.
Yeah. Beautiful pictures. Yeah.
I love it. It makes me very happy to see it. So Bruno, why did you answer the call to become an author?
It's you see, in the last couple of years, including that GPMF event 2 years ago, I started having conversations with friends, with peers, and a lot of them were telling me, Bruno, but you have to write a book. You have to write a book. Like I started having this input, and it is something that I am thinking about since many years. But, I recognize that it's an effort. It's not something that you do, one morning you wake up and you say, okay, now I'm writing a book. It doesn't really work like that. So when I saw this opportunity, I said, well, Bruno, will you be able to at least write a chapter? Will you be able to go through the effort and the pain and write a chapter? And I took it as a challenge for myself. It is, you see, I always challenge myself. I always like to go out of my comfort zone. And that was really one of those cases. And I'm so happy. Like, fast forward to today, I am so proud that my first published chapter is about Fantozzi, about that movie.
Why? Why Fantozzi for you?
Fantozzi, like if you would have grown up in Italy in the 70s, 80s, 90s, like Fantozzi is an institution in Italy. It's a movie. It's one of my favorite movies. I love it. Like most of the people growing up in those years in Italy, and it's a movie that I watched. I don't know how many times. First as a kid, then as a teenager, then as an adult, then with my kids, and it's of course it's something that it is deeply within me. And when I said, okay, let's do this, when we were able to make it, I said, okay, it has to be Fantozzi. And I'm so happy that you like the idea, that you like the concept and what was behind. I remember I gave you a little bit of a background, because clearly it's not a movie that is so popular outside of Italy, but in Italy, literally everybody knows it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your chapter was called "I've Never Done It, but I've Always Dreamed of It: Lessons in Attitude from an Unlucky Italian Accountant." And that's his name in the movie, right? Fantozzi.
Yes. It's a specific moment in the initial scene of the first movie of Fantozzi. There are several movies later on, but in the first one, and it's a specific one, which I used to explain what happens to Ragionier Ugo Fantozzi, so the main character of the movie.
So Jerry, when Bruno pitched this to us, what do you remember about what we talked about?
I remember. Yeah, I thought it was great. It was great to have a movie that not everybody heard of, because we said from the beginning we wanted movies, we wanted to have a variety. Some maybe blockbusters that everybody knows, and some they might not know or not be familiar with. But the lesson was great. I mean, it was a perfect lesson, I think, for project management, and it's a chance for people to get exposed to a movie they might not have seen, and especially people outside of Italy. So and the message was clear. I thought the chapter was really well written, and it was a perfect fit for the book, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love what our co-author Rosalind said. Thank you for sharing such an important part of you with us. And I feel like your chapter really did that. Ruth's did that. A lot of our authors really had a personal connection to the movie, and not only the lesson, because we all talked about, well, what happened to us in Projectland and why this lesson is important to us and our learnings, but also just a personal connection to the movie. So thank you, Rosalind, for saying that, because I agree, and that was a beautiful way that you said it. So I love the log line for Fantozzi. A good-natured but unlucky Italian is constantly getting into difficult situations, but never loses his positive mood. So I think obviously don't speak Italian. So I had to watch this movie with subtitles. Jerry, you too, right? You watched it. Yeah. So we watched the movie with subtitles, but you could watch it without subtitles and get the idea, and the thing is hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love how it just shows how everything is timed in his day, and everything, and then of course everything goes wrong, and then how he deals with it, and a lot of funny scenes in it.
Yeah, in fact, thanks for the segue. So let me share a little bit from Bruno's chapter, because a lot of us don't have this movie yet, but should, and stay tuned later for the IMDb list where you can easily get to all of our movies in the book. But here's part of Bruno's chapter. After a brief opening credits montage to introduce the unlucky accountant Fantozzi, the going to work segment begins. As Fantozzi's alarm clock goes off, narration reveals. In order to stamp his punch card and clock in at exactly 8:30, Fantozzi used to wake up at 6:15. That was 16 years ago. Today, after many experiments and improvements, he wakes up at 7:51, pushing the limits of human capabilities. Now, fast forwarding through all of his routine stuff, which is hilarious, he now realizes the time wasted by the lace mishap has set him back irrevocably. He had been unable to follow the pre-established plan. This is why Fantozzi has a brilliant and unexpected idea: to catch the bus on the fly by jumping from the balcony and thus saving 2 minutes. His wife and daughter try to stop him, pointing out that he does not have the right physique and that jumping from the balcony to catch the bus on the fly is something he has never done before. I've never done it, but I've always dreamed of it, says Fantozzi proudly. And that's the start. That's the chapter title.
That's exactly it. Yes. So in Italian, it is "Non l'ho mai fatto, ma l'ho sempre sognato." And it is really iconic in Italy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I loved it that you shared this movie with us. And so before we go, Bruno, I have another surprise for you. Not only did you get to meet Ruth today, but I understand that you've sent your mentees videos from this next guest YouTube channel, a channel with more than 140,000 subscribers. And like Ruth, you've been in the same rooms, but you've never actually met one-on-one. So we're going to make that happen today. Our next guest is a physicist, a project manager, an educator, and a communicator. He's written 15 print books for 6 international publishers. He runs a global learning platform offering training and resources for project professionals. And his YouTube channel is the second largest in the project management space, with more than 600 videos covering just about every aspect of the discipline. Chances are you've learned from him, even if you've never met him. So let's fix this meeting situation right now, Bruno. Please help me welcome one of our Projectland authors. Come on up to the Projectland stage, Dr. Mike Clayton.
Hello.
Hello. And where are you dialing in from today, Mike?
I'm in the UK. I'm near Winchester. I know we've got someone on the call from Basingstoke, which is only a short distance from here. So yeah, South England.
Awesome. South England. Very good. So Bruno, Mike, Bruno.
Oh, good
Nice
grief.
to meet you, Mike.
And you,
Hello.
and you. I see so much of you on LinkedIn. You are an ever-present force
I
on
have
LinkedIn.
to say, every time I start working with coachee or mentees that are very early in their project management journey, you are one of the source of I send them to your channel, so they are all subscribers, I'm sure.
That's great, thank you. I mean, that's exactly what the channel's for. I mean, the whole purpose of the channel is to give knowledge to people at early to mid stages of their career. And so it's always a delight when I hear people are actually using the videos to learn, either for certification or perhaps more importantly for just doing the job. So thank you.
Absolutely. I think I've been a guest on your channel a few times now, Mike, and so I'm so glad to be able to invite you here in Projectland with us this time.
For whatever reason, I am not hearing Dawn.
Uh-oh, that's going to make it a little difficult. Well, so Bruno, we're going to sign you off, sir. Thank you so much for bringing your Italian style to our book.
You.
Really appreciate it. And we'll bring
Cheers, Bruno.
Cheers. So, Jerry, we're going to bring you back up to the stage. Mike, are you able to hear Jerry?
Hey, Mike. You can't hear me?
Dawn, I've lost your audio.
I
I've
guess
had
you can't
Bruno's
hear me either.
and I've lost yours.
You've had...
Maybe Jerry can introduce me. Maybe I can hear him.
Yeah, Jerry, can you try again?
Yeah, Mike, can you hear me?
Oh, good grief. It's all gone.
It's all gone. You want to come out and come back in and we'll switch over?
I'm gonna just do something because I can't hear
okay.
Jerry and Dawn for some reason. The sound's gone dead in my feed when you although not Bruno's. Anyway, I think this is a fantastic project. I was just so delighted. I mean, as I've told Dawn, she asks, I come. I just love working with Dawn. It's been a delight, and any chance to write as well. So I think you said I have 6 international publishers, 7 now, I suppose, which is fantastic, and any excuse to communicate project management to the world. So and I've been using NASA projects for years to talk to project managers, because many of the project managers I've trained live over my career have been working in small to medium organizations, and therefore using examples from big organizations is difficult. So I tend to try to either use really small examples or really huge examples that are just really inspiring, and therefore NASA is full of it, right from the start of explaining what a goal and objective is, from the goal and objective of the whole Apollo program. And Apollo 13 is just such a wonderful story. It's set in a time when the world looked to America, and they looked up to America and its achievements. So what a wonderful thing to think back to today, all in the past, sadly. But actually, it's very relevant because, of course, Artemis 2 is now on the launch pad. And although Apollo 13 was intended to land on the moon and do some exploration, kind of the mid phase of the whole Apollo program, its actual mission was very close, very similar in many ways to Apollo 10. It circled the moon, which is exactly what Artemis 2 will do, and 4 fantastic astronauts in the next few weeks, we hope, and let's hope it goes really well. And the Apollo 13, the whole Apollo 13 endeavor is fantastic. Apollo 13, when it went wrong, when Swaggart performed a simple operation and a long dormant fault caused a massive explosion on board, that became a rescue situation where rescue was impossible. And so Apollo 13 turns into a total triumph, and the movie is, I think, a magnificent example. And by the way, here's my little model of the Lunar Excursion Module, the LEM, the Lunar Lander, which I made many years ago. So I wanted to talk about the Apollo 13 movie for a long time. I've used it as an example in like Ruth was saying, this is something I've been thinking about for many years. And I decided to pick one incident, and the incident that I picked was the point where they realized that carbon dioxide was building up in the capsule, and regardless of all the technology they needed to get them home and to get them safely onto Earth, that would be useless if the astronauts died of asphyxiation. So they had to find a way of cleaning the air with what are called scrubbers, which those of you who are British will know that has two meanings over here. Maybe the Americans know that too. But these scrubbers would remove carbon dioxide. The problem was that there was never an intention of interoperability between the lunar lander and the main module, and therefore the scrubbers had different systems, and quite literally they had to fit a square peg into a round hole. I think it's that way around. And this story is one of real dedicated professionals calmly working the problem. And I think as project managers, we assume things are going to go wrong. We have this kind of planning fallacy. We see our plan and we think, yeah, it's going to work. But NASA, I listened to a fantastic 2.5-hour podcast which first came out a couple of weeks ago from a Canadian journalist, which is she goes through every single kind of stage of the Apollo 13 story, and the whole thing is NASA having predicted, or not predicted, but foreseen pretty much every contingency. But one contingency they didn't see was having to fit a square peg into a round hole, but they did. And I think this tells a story that actually exemplifies two agile principles. And people who know me know I'm not no agilist, but the idea of motivated individuals. I mean, the team was so motivated, and the idea of self-managing teams, that basically the team just got on and did it, and they found a way. And so the hot take from this is that projects don't need heroes. There is this hero mentality that we have as project managers. I'm going to make things happen. I'm going to really be the one that transforms this project. And frankly, that's what brought me into project management. I delivered some big projects, and really before I worked professionally in a social sphere at university, and I thought, this is great fun. Everyone looks to me. But actually, projects don't need heroes. What they need is professionals. They need professionals who are going to work together, they're going to solve problems, and they're going to solve them with discipline and rigor and commitment and professionalism, and they're going to get the job done. And in this case, the job was getting 3 astronauts in a pretty flimsy tin can made of metal, not much thicker than this metal that this is made from, and get them back to Earth safely from hundreds of thousands, millions of miles away, with a broken spaceship. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it's I love that movie too. And I don't know if you can hear me, Mike, but I love that movie too because of that whole scene where they're like, let's work the problem people scene, and there's a sock and like duct tape, and only like this is all they have up there. We have to fix this using what they have. And John, one of our co-authors, says, Mike, it's one of my favorite movies. It truly shows how teamwork can accomplish a goal, which is true. So true. Thanks for offering that. And you get a fan out there for sure. Mike Clayton is my favorite. Thanks for joining. Very good. So Mike, I think you're having trouble hearing me. So we're gonna.
I've just got you back. You've just come back.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Just for the end.
And when we said, Houston, we have a problem, it turned out you were able to push forward and to
I just worked the problem.
Life imitating art.
Just worked the problem. I found a button which StreamYard has 2 buttons for the same speakers, and it seems to flip between which one's active.
Oh, wow. Well, thank goodness you figured it out. Well, I don't know if you heard this, but you have a fan here on the show. So Mike Clayton is my favorite. So,
oh, thank you. I'm upset.
Absolutely. And James, who wrote The Martian, one of our otherworldly chapters.
Well, James, you get my props, because when you first invited me and I said yes, I went through my pile of DVDs, and I thought, I'm not going to go through streaming. I'll just go through the DVDs I own, and I had a pile of 6, and The Martian was in there. Great Escape, I think, is also in the book. Was in there, and I think possibly some others. But I watched watched some of them with my daughter. So, and she said when we watched Apollo 13, just got to go with Apollo 13. It's just brilliant.
Your
So,
daughter helped you choose.
Yeah, she did.
Oh, that's so sweet. And still, some of your other favorites got covered. So
Absolutely. I just can't wait to read about The Martian and The Great Escape and some of the others, because there's a lot of movies in the book that I love. And it will be for everyone, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of, that was a beautiful segue to our trivia. Shall we do it? Dr. Mike Clayton, everybody, a physicist, a trainer, a wonderful, wonderful man coming in from the UK. Thank you so much, Mike, for joining us today in Projectland. Really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
Bye for now. Awesome, Mike. Okay, so Jerry, let's do a little trivia, shall we?
Sure.
So, all right, cool. So you're going to help me with this. Keep me honest, right? So, okay, everybody get your fingers ready. And you will be competing for the rights to get up on the screen. So when we see Jerry, maybe you can help shout out like who gets the answer first. Are you guys ready? We just have a couple questions, and I'm going to show you the secret to how you can answer the questions even easier very shortly. Okay, here we go. Are we ready for the trivia? How many chapters and movies are there? The answer is the same, and we're looking for a number. How many chapters and movies are there? A big hint is the number is the subtitle of the book. How many chapters and movies are there? This is one of my favorite numbers because it happens to be my birthday number. And when we were talking about doing this book, Jerry, we weren't sure what number we were going to land on, right? We were shooting for somewhere around 25 plus or minus, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to go with which, what number sounded good, and I think we came up with a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. So the answer, so close. There is a LinkedIn user that said 20. The answer is
we have another LinkedIn user. Got it right.
Absolutely. So there we got 22s are coming in. I can see them. There might be a little delay between what I can see and your answers. Yep. 22, you got it. 22 for sure. Yeah. So we've got our subtitle, 22 Blockbuster Strategies for Project Success. And you guys, we just got the book, the physical book. I just got a copy. And it's like when you first see a book that you've been working on for over a year in person and you can touch it, it's an amazing thing. And I almost wanted to cry, and I'm not much of a crier. And so instead I screamed and called Jerry. It's here. So y'all can get your book. Paperback launched today. Ebook is also available. Jana's going to throw some links in the chat where you can check it out if you like. So, all right, great job. So now we are going to also share with you, and Jana, you can throw the IMDb list in the chat as well. So if any of you want to follow along, if you're in a safe place, like not driving, and follow along, and I will share my screen and show you the IMDb list we curated. So we curated this IMDb list thanks to Mike Schaefer, one of our authors, who said, hey, did you guys know you can create a playlist in IMDb? I didn't know this. So we created this playlist. Thank you, Mike. And you can see here, we have this whole playlist, Projectland Goes to the Movies, about the playlist as well. So you can check it out. And we're going to be answering some of the questions. They're going to be a lot easier if you have this up and check it out. And so I saw, Ruth, you wanted to see all the movies again and make this your playlist. Maybe others of you have some movies you want to watch too. And we all obviously love these movies. So let's check it out. And we said, Jerry, we wanted a variety of movies. So our next question is, how many genres are included in the book? How many genres are included in the book? Now I'm going to show you guys a little preview of how this works while you figure it out. We have in order of appearance in the book, we have our list curated. So Moneyball is first, written by Laura and Grayson Barnard, our mother-son team. He's our youngest author, 18 years old. He had just turned 18. He's our youngest, along with Laura Barnard, who is also well-loved in the PMO space. They did Moneyball. Now, Grayson played a lot of baseball. She's a baseball mom, obviously, then. And so Moneyball was their movie. We had V for Vendetta next, The Great Escape, Ocean's 11, Fantozzi, who you heard from Bruno, Star Wars from Jerry, Ghostbusters, The Martian, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, 12 Angry Men, Wonder Woman, Aliens, The Fires, Apollo 13, The Italian Job, The Man from Snowy River, The Greatest Night in Pop, a documentary, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jurassic Park, School of Rock, Cash Out, and rounding us out, Top Gun, from our very own Top Gun. So that's a lot of different kinds of movies.
And Dawn, since nobody will probably guess the exact number of genres, I thought I'd throw out a multiple choice. So
yeah, go ahead.
Is it 11, 17, 6, or 14?
11, 17, 6, or 14. Give it a shot. 11, 17, 6, or 14. And one of our authors on the inside, she got it. Now I can show you how I got the answer to this. Okay, so in IMDb, in our playlist, you can click on this little upside down pyramid looking icon and you can see the genres. We have, you can see here, action, adventure, drama, thriller, sci-fi, fantasy, comedy, crime, music, war, biography, documentary, history, horror, romance, sport, and Western.
Yeah, 17 genres covered.
17 genres covered in 22 chapters. So I think we met our goal of having a rounded out group of chapters there, Jerry.
Yeah, and that was purely by, I wouldn't say purely by accident. We wanted to have multiple genres represented, but we didn't realize we'd have that many. So yeah, it worked out perfectly.
It worked out just as we planned. Yeah, very good. Okay, so next up, next question. What's the oldest movie? And bonus, what year was it released? Now, one of our brave authors who stepped in front of the camera, his movie and little commercial, let's say, for his movie, introducing his movie, came out yesterday, and he mentions this. So if you've been following along in our author video blitz, then you may have heard this one. What is the oldest movie, and what year was it released for a bonus? And I'm just scrolling through so you can see. We can also see not just the list, but the list in movie poster form as well. The oldest movie. The oldest movie. Any guesses? Take a wild guess. And if you're following along, I can show you how to get the answer. Yes! Yes, we got it. So we got our Top Gun, The Great Escape.
Oh, we have the wrong movie in the right year.
We got the right year, 1957. We got the right year. There it is. There it is. 12 Angry Men, 1957. Angry Men. Okay, cool. Good job. Okay, so the way you get to it is release date. So you can see here, 12 Angry Men, and then, Dave, The Great Escape. So 12 Angry Men, 1957. The Great Escape was 1963. So those are our oldest movies. And you can see Fantozzi that Bruno introduced was 1975. So, okay. And the 12 Angry Men was written by PMO Joe Puz. All right. Next up, what's the newest movie? And bonus, what year was it released? What's the newest movie? What's the newest movie? So 12 Angry Men was the oldest. What's the newest movie? And this one has an awesome story, by the way. This movie was being finalized and released when we were writing the book. So we had to wait. We had to punt a little bit on finalizing the chapter because we needed the director of the movie to double check and make sure it was accurate, because a lot of the movie ends up on an editing floor. And so if our chapter author was referencing stuff that didn't end up in the movie, then we wanted to make sure it was accurate. So remember giving him a little bit more time. And let's see if we have any guesses on the newest movie while we kind of talk about it. So the chapter was written by a gentleman from Iceland named Hokora, who you know, Jerry. He was a friend of yours.
Yep, and we got some right guesses out there. The Fires, 2025.
Yeah.
Hokur Ingi Jonason wrote that book, wrote that chapter, and his daughter, Ugla Hook's daughter, directed it, and I think wrote the film and directed it. And it was a big blockbuster in Iceland, did very well, and it's in the process of international distribution, so it should be in the US and around the world very shortly. But it's receiving rave reviews. And she's gotten a lot of accolades as a director. She directed several episodes of the new Alien Earth series, and several other series. And she directed a series on Amazon called The Power, and is working on the new Daryl Dixon Walking Dead series now.
Yes, she's incredible. We're having a lot of fun watching her career blossom. And by the way, Hokur has a little cameo appearance in the movie too. So we totally cannot wait to see this come in theaters near us. So the way to get to that one is just flip the arrow on the release date, and you can see The Fires is the newest movie out in 2025. And Cash Out was the next one, which was written by John, who it's all about negotiating. And we all know we need those skills in Projectland. Okay, let's do one more. What is the longest running movie of all of our 22 movies? What is the longest running movie of all of our 22 movies? Ruth, you're gonna have to go to Iceland to go see The Fires, I think, right now. I wouldn't mind going with you if you would like to go visit Iceland with me. Let's go. But for now, just waiting on it to come to some theater near us.
I believe it's supposed to be out shortly around the world.
Oh, good. Oh, good. So be watching out for that, you guys. The Fires. All right. So last question was, what's the longest running movie of all of our 22 movies? What's the longest running movie? Now, this chapter was written by dynamic duo Mike and Rachel. So we had 2 chapters written by 2 people. I had mentioned before, Laura and her son Grayson wrote Moneyball, the chapter on Moneyball. And this one was written by Rachel and Mike, who also wrote their own chapters. So they came together and wrote this chapter, and they also have separately their own chapters that they ran. And yes, there it is. There it is. So we've got The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. And so if you're following along, having some fun with our IMDb playlist, you can see runtime. And so the shortest was Cash Out and 12 Angry Men. And the longest is The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, 2 hours and 58 minutes. Now here's some dedication. Mike and Rachel, before they even knew they were going to do this, they sat in a theater in Minnesota and saw the trilogy. It's like over 12 hours, I think they said, Jerry.
That's a long time. I once saw all 5 Planet of the Apes movies at the time in a theater, and all 5 were probably much shorter than the 3 Lord of the Rings movies.
So that's some dedication, and we love that chapter. All of our chapters, really. And so no wrong answer here, everybody. If you would, while we close out, share your favorite movie in the chat. Doesn't have to be from our list. It can be yours. I'd love to know what your favorite movie is. I wrote my chapter on The Italian Job, which features Philadelphia, which I spent 20 years in, and some Mini Coopers, and I had one. And so I love The Italian Job. That's what I would choose. Jerry, can you even choose your favorite movie?
That's really tough. I mean, I run the gamut and so many styles and genres. I love Ben-Hur. I love Jaws. Just so many.
It's so hard. It's so hard. Yeah.
You name it.
And all different from all different genres and time frames. So from 1957 to 2025, our movies cover 17 genres. Everybody get the IMDb playlist in the chat. Hopefully, Jana, you can drop that IMDb playlist in the chat for everybody if you want to check out our movies, and read the book along with the movies as well, or share it. If you have a PMO, this might be a fun way to have everybody pick a chapter, pick their favorite movie that they want to talk about with the lesson, and relate it to your version of Projectland. So everybody, thanks so much for joining. Thank you for making the time today to join our Projectland Goes to the Movies book launch celebration. Our book is now on Amazon in paperback and in ebook, and also many, many other places. Our global list of bookstores is growing. So if you would like to get the book, whether paperback or ebook, whatever your preference, at your favorite bookseller, please check it out. And let's see if we can't make this book a blockbuster too. Jerry, any final words of wisdom for today?
Just thanks for coming to our kickoff, our launch, and I really hope you enjoy the movie and inspires you to watch some movies you maybe haven't seen, or when you watch other movies, think about what kind of lessons it can apply to. You never know when there's going to be a Projectland goes to the movies, the sequel.
Many thanks to our guests, Bruno, Mike Clayton, Ruth Pearce. Thank you for joining us. You're amazing. And so are all of our other authors today. Thanks for joining, everybody. We're going to sign off for now. And Lee Lambert, thanks for being on the chat. I'm so sorry that your StreamYard wasn't working and was giving you trouble today, but we love you and we appreciate your support of our work. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Signing off from Projectland. Have a great day. Bye for now.